Thank you for joining this Working Moms Academy's YouTube channel. And I would like to welcome today Sheetal Ramchandrani. She is very generous in sharing her time with us today. And let me have a quick introduction of who she is and what she do. She is a certified health coach from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, USA, and was one of the 10 health coaches from the 2017 cohort to have received the Leadership in Health Coaching Award. She is also a hormone health specialist. Wow. you have a lot on your plate. Sheetal provides coaching to her clients in one-on-one sessions to enable them to make long-term and sustainable lifestyle changes. She follows a holistic approach to wellness and focuses on food, as well as other factors that determine the food choices people make. Sheetal is also a public speaker offering workshops to corporates and not-for-profit organizations. Thank you, Sheetal. I know you can tell more about what you do later, and I would love you to promote already whatever programs and coaching you have so that, moms can start learning from you. Maybe you can just tell us first a quick background about yourself. I mean, I know you do have your own company. Maybe you can tell us more first before you started your own company. What were you doing and how many kids do you have? So we can just have a quick background about you.
Okay, thank you first of all, Wanda, for having me here at Mums Academy today. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here today. And I feel so grateful that I have come this far where I've been invited by you as an interview. Okay, a little bit about me before, my company set up, which is Live Lively. I am a mom to two boys, which are now 20 and 14.
Wow, you look very young.
Thank you. That's what healthy lifestyle does to
I
you.
love that.
Yeah. So yeah, and my elder one's already in university in the US, and the younger one here is in school. But before I started up my venture, Live Lively, which is a health awareness company, I was working with special need kids for 6 years, at that job. And I was also public training in, public speaking skills to teenagers for almost 8 years before my venture. So this is what I was doing, before my new baby, Live Lively, came into existence in 2017.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Can you just tell us more? What made you decide to be an entrepreneur? So, a lot of moms always have that struggle, right? I mean, if you are into corporate or if you're employed, the comfort of receiving that monthly salary is very good. And the fear of starting your own. I mean, what made you decide to finally have something? This live lively.
Okay, so it was my own journey that actually, pushed me to become an entrepreneur. That was, of course, I was working with special needs kids, which was very rewarding. But during this span, I had also suffered the loss of my father as a teenager. I myself went through a hormonal imbalance in my 30s after the birth of both my boys, which then led me from one doctor to the other, finding answers at several places where I did not receive the information that I was looking for. And that helped me then dig into healing my own body first. And that's how when I, became a health coach. But my initial step was, how can I change my own self? When I had done this for myself, I knew I had to provide this platform to many other women who were struggling in the same, vicious cycle of hormonal imbalances, weight gain, and many other health conditions. And there was this easier way to look after yourself, and that's how I decided to step into this zone of creating my own company. And at that time I just had this one and one mission, which I was after, which I'm still after, is that the most precious gift, because I lost my father at a very tender age, and I knew health was priority to me, and the only gift I wanted to provide to my family and my kids was my own health, which was my driving force to have created the company.
That's very nice. I mean,
Mm,
for me, I lost my father when I was 9. Maybe I
mm,
was too young. I never had
mm,
that drive like yours. But I think,
mm.
you know what, I always believe every person has a different calling, right?
Yeah,
And when I actually listened to your story, I was like, it's always the mission, right? And why you do what you do. And I think that's
yes,
always what I tell when I do business coaching with individuals. I always say, what is your biggest pain and what
mm,
frustrates you the most? And
yeah,
what did you find solution to?
yeah.
Because that is the biggest thing that I think you can do to make a positive difference in the lives of others. And I'm very happy to hear how your journey have really helped you, come out of the situation, and now you're in the mission of helping others. I think most successful women and businesses are actually built on that: the pain,
Yeah.
the purpose, and the mission to help. So I'm really happy. Maybe you can just share with us what are the top 3 challenges that you faced throughout the journey, from the career shifts and being a mompreneur yourself, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. The main challenge which I faced, when I became a health coach and setting up my company was at that time, people didn't know what a health coach was. I was doing nutrition and I was doing mindset at both the times. And most of my people used to tell me, but why are you talking mindset? How does that make sense? I'm here to know what food I should eat and how I should exercise. And that would change my body. And it was very hard to explain to my people at that time that they both are interrelated. You may be
Mm.
eating really well and exercising, but if your mind is not in place, you will not see results. So even explaining my job to people, and this is what my coaching sessions involved, used to take me at least 15 minutes. Creating that awareness how the mind and the body is connected was a challenge in those days when I started off. And again, the teething process is, for every business to set up, is that you do have to invest. You have to invest your time and be so passionate about your dream to make it a reality. Is just consistency. So being consistent, irrespective of where you are, was a challenge at that time. But yeah, this is my biggest step, which I say to every entrepreneur. Just, if you've dreamed it, don't give it up till it becomes a reality. Yeah.
I love that very much. I
Thank
think,
you. Yeah.
but also what we do, it's all about the passion and the mission, right? I think
Yes,
that's the
yes.
biggest difference. If you are passionate with what you're doing, if you do
Yeah,
have a clear mission of why you're doing, then you
yeah.
should never give up. Because I failed in previous businesses before. And I think
Hmm.
my biggest mistake is I will always do a business which other people are doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's very easy for me to drop it off because it's not something that I'm passionate about.
Passionate
But
about.
when I found this Working Moms Academy, I know how much I've struggled when I was experiencing burnout and stress. And I know
Mhm.
how much others are suffering. So I think if for others who are still thinking of whether they will jump or not, I think this is the right questions for them to ask. What's their biggest pain? And as you
Pain, yeah.
said, right, never give up, be consistent. So that's very
Absolutely.
important. Okay,
Yeah.
how about for those, did you start the business first, or did you leave corporate, or did you do it at the same time? How did you manage it?
So I did it initially, for starters, at the same time. As my I used to dedicate a few hours in coaching. But one another giveaway that I want to have for mompreneurs is, don't do it for the money initially. Just do it because you are passionate about it. Just do it because you believe in it. Yeah. And that's how I started off. So I started off with my current job and doing coaching for a few hours, without worrying about what am I gaining out of it, how much money is this business giving me. And it was a ripple effect that I wanted to create, and I was giving myself that space and time to create that ripple effect. Can I get up on a Friday and do this? And those are the questions that helped me get through it. It made me even more closer to my mission, that yes, this is what you believe in, and you are making change. And when I was getting these people coming back with all these rewarding messages that how it had changed their body, how they feel, how they reversed medication, how they reversed diseases, that was enough for me to then disintegrate from my job that I was doing and taking up coaching as a full-time job.
That's very rewarding and very true. I think when I started to have that burnout, I had the passion to maybe I can just do something else. So that landed
Yeah.
me to volunteering activity. The
Mhm.
volunteering led me to balloon making, event registration, then
Yeah,
finally
yeah,
to teaching and coaching, where I was like,
yeah.
wow, this is life changing.
Changing,
Because
yeah.
when I started to teach others what I'm learning, their
Yeah.
progress is much more than me. And as
Mhm.
you said, right, the monetary, I mean, income might not come yet, but
Yeah.
those people whom you have impacted in small and big ways is
Mhm.
something that no money can pay, right? So
Absolutely.
that's really rewarding. I think that's a very important point. Thank you for saying that. You should
Yeah.
not focus on the money, but on the mission and the
Mission,
impact
yeah.
that you are
Yeah.
creating. Okay,
Yeah.
that's very nice.
I
Okay, so,
label them in two words. I call it
uh-huh.
giver's gain.
Sorry,
You
what
give,
is it?
it's
Uh-huh.
called giver's gain. That's what I label
Giver's
it as.
gain.
Gain.
Yeah.
Give without having anything to expecting in return, and you will see its gain come in many, many different ways to you yourself. And if you just believe in that aspect, you will see it.
I love that giver's gain.
Yes.
I've heard about this is called the law of reciprocity, right?
Yes,
Because what
yes.
you give out, it is
Out.
meant to come back to you.
Come
But
back.
I think
Yes.
the problem with that is that you sometimes think that if you give something to someone, that person will give it back to
Give it
you.
back. Yeah.
But the good thing about that giver's gain, and that the law of reciprocity said, God's never blinded by your
Yeah.
efforts, and you will be
Absolutely.
rewarded not by the person you help, by in
Yeah.
another way, but I've seen that
Absolutely.
work like magic, and that's very nice.
Absolutely. The power of universe is always there behind your back. And if you believe in that, it will come back.
That's very good. So,
Yeah.
Sheetal, how did you decide that, okay, I'm going to leave corporate now and I'm going to do
Yeah.
this full time? What is that decision done? I mean, what was the decision trigger or point?
So the trigger was my, since as I was consistent with, providing, stepping forward with my mission, and as I was receiving this feedback of all my clients, which I was doing first as part-time, but I was receiving so much result with so many people. I knew I had to take this step a further, one step further. And that's when, which allowed me, because it was completely what you receive in return in terms of, how you have transformed people's life, that allowed me to make this shift from, leaving my job and now focusing completely on coaching.
That's very nice. Again, it's not nothing monetary, right? I think this is,
No.
after interviewing like 6 or 7 successful moms in business, this is what they
Yeah.
always say as well.
Yeah.
You should never focus about the money. The money
Money,
will
money
come
will
later
come.
and follow you. So
Yeah.
just be
Yeah.
patient, plant your seeds. So that's
Yeah.
very nice. But
Yeah.
is there at some point in time when you just think of stopping and giving up? I mean, was there any situation at all?
Yeah, so we all have those situations in life, and we have to be honest with ourselves that yes, we have, those situations in our life. I've had them myself, and I won't deny them. But again, I would always reach back to why do I dream about it? How is it has changed me? What's my why? Why am I doing this work? And my why was I just wanted to have, you provide your healthiest version to your family, because that's something that I missed as a child, and I wanted it for every other family in, in the UAE, where at least I am surrounded with people. So my why was very clear. And you may have these moments in your life and you may say, I'm working so hard, and people are not paying me, or the returns aren't enough and things like that. But if you come back to your why, you will really be able to see uh, why you believe in the cause, and it'll keep you going, it'll keep you motivated. Yeah.
That's very, very nice. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's always about really the clarity of the mission and why you do what you do. This is really
Yes.
very, very important. The
Yeah.
other question, a lot of mothers say, how do you really juggle being a mom, a wife, and having a business because they're all like your babies, right?
Yeah, they all like your babies,
So
yeah.
how do you manage all of it?
Okay, so number one thing, because when I started off, the reason of getting into entrepreneurship was also I was seeing my kids grow up, and I was scared of the life after my kids are gone. So that was one of the reasons that I got a little more time than normal moms. But again, creating absolute boundaries for yourself, like this is my workspace and this is my home space, and never carry work to home, allowed me to create that balance, which was very, very important in my job. So I had this boundary of 6 p.m., and then after 6 p.m., there is no laptop, mobiles, and work to be taken into my home area. And I made sure they were left in one area. So this allowed me to then really focus that time, which is 6 p.m., and post with my family, with my kids. That allowed me to create this work-life balance, which I think it was very, very important and crucial, and I still do that.
That's very nice. I think,
Mhm.
that is the most difficult part, right?
Yeah,
Setting boundaries.
yeah.
So, I mean, right now your kids are like you said 20 plus and 14.
Yeah,
But how do you, I mean, did you start this business when they were younger, or
yeah,
so how did you set the boundaries? Because I think sometimes the difficult part is setting the boundaries with your children, right? Because
yeah,
most women are now struggling when the house and the work and the school is all
mhm,
one. So
yeah,
you might have a concept of this is my boundary, but
yeah.
kids don't yet understand the boundary. How did you instill that boundary with your kids?
So, number one is, to create a to-do list, which I was very organized. Being organized is the number one thing that really helps you in this. So, if you know that these are your chores that you do with your kids, and of course, when I started, I was still dropping them off to school and I was picking them up from school, and I wanted to fit those, pieces during my day as well. But again, having that, being very organized really helped me. So this is what I do for my kids. I do drop them, I'm there for them. And at the same time, allowing them to see that just like they go to school, I have a boundary as well. And this is the time when they can reach out to me, and this is the time when mom's at work. So that I just created that clarity for them as well, and for myself as well.
That's
Mhm.
very nice. Thank you for sharing that. I think what I learned also, I mean, my kids are only 8 and 11, but
Mhm.
I think every kid is already smart enough to understand that you're doing
Absolutely.
something big, right? So
Yeah.
also it's about understanding this is what I'm doing. So
Hmm.
please give mommy the time. And I think
Yeah.
what you've rightly said is being organized.
Yeah.
I think that is very important. And what I think from your story, you're saying you created a schedule which revolves around your family.
Yes.
Because I think that's the other problem of most women, right? There's a lot of work that needs to be done. The remaining is for the family.
Yeah.
But I think what works well also is giving them the priority and make your work revolve around that. So
Yes.
that's very, very nice. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing. But did your relationship with your husband change over the years? I mean, when you start a business, I've met a lot of, women who are afraid to even start the business because either the husband's not supporting or the husband doesn't believe or
Mhm.
how do
Mhm.
you manage those relationship changes?
Yeah. Actually, I've been fortunate in my case. My relationship actually became better by becoming
Ah,
an entrepreneur. So I just started helping my husband support in his health journey as well, and in his mindset journey as well. So in fact, our relationship became better and more balanced. And with the kids as well, the relationship improved because now they see me as a role model, for somebody who started from scratch, did everything, including my education, including setting up the business, my struggles through the business. And I never share, I mean, I had never shared in detail with them, but they saw me go through that. And I can see those values in both my boys now, and that's exactly how the elder one's doing for his profession. He is doing it one step at a time. So I never taught him these skills, but he saw these skills. So in fact, I say that, even don't underestimate your kids are not understanding them. you are just creating so much the values. You're being a role model to these kids, and you it will pay off in some time, and you will see that.
That's very rewarding to hear. I'm very
Yeah.
excited
Yeah.
for my children. But I
Yeah.
think those are very great points, right? I always say to
Mm.
other parents, I learned that kids will not do what you say, but
Yeah.
they will do what you do, because
Yeah.
it's about, right? It's about really role model. And what
Yeah.
I also learned is that when you start changing yourself, that is when you can see the positive shifts in others. I mean, in the
Absolutely.
past, my struggle was always I wanted others to change first,
Yeah.
and then I will change. But I think what I've also, when I started taking a lot of these personal development programs, I've
Yeah.
shifted, and my kids have shifted too, and so was the relationship. I
Yeah.
think for those who are still worried, what's gonna happen? I think it's about focusing yourself, right, and not about changing others. It's about changing you, and when people see that, then it's actually, something
Absolutely.
sparks that change positively.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Okay, we're almost in the
Yeah.
end. What
Yeah.
is your advice for those who are still starting as an entrepreneur, or those who are struggling? What's
Hmm.
your advice to them?
My number one advice is, first of all, choose something that you are passionate about, something that you believe in, you've dreamed of it. And no matter, no, you may going to have these obstacles in your way, where people are not going to believe it. But if you believe it and you know this in your heart, you will succeed. I know you will have all the fears around it. We all do, but just make that start. There is no right time to make that start. But if you believe and you are passionate about what you want to do, everything else will fall into place in some time. Just believe in your cause.
That's very nice. Thank you for
Hmm.
sharing that. It's really about passionate. It's from the heart. That's very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Working Moms Academy's mission is really about helping moms succeed personally and professionally. Because I think this is what is most missed. That, you can have a
Hmm.
successful career, but the family is
Hmm.
not. But I think it's
Hmm.
all integrated. So,
Yeah.
what do you think are your three tips for women or for moms to succeed personally and professionally, be in their corporate career or be in their employment or business? What are the
Yeah.
three tips that you can give?
My number one tip professionally would be, feel the fear, but do it anyways.
Oh, I love that.
You
Susan J first, right?
Yes, yes. You will experience in
Mm.
your journey and will become a better version of wherever you began from. There is nothing to lose. So feel the fear that we all do, but do it anyways. That is
I
what I say professionally. Personally, I say, when you are in this situation and you are struggling, always ask yourself, which are my top three values? And for
mm.
me, it was honesty, relationship, and time. And I always put those at a priority to anything else. And that was personally, and it really worked for me. I every time ask myself my three values, and they're different for different people. And ask you this question to yourself: what are my values personally? And what am I not ready to give up on a personal front? And these are my two advices to people professionally and personally, and it will allow you to move a step further. It's a journey that you will only and only learn. There are no failures.
That's very, very nice. So
Yeah.
you are correct. I mean, I think for me also that value alignment is very important. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I was very successful, and when I became an audit manager of Emirates Airlines, I mean, reaching that position was very
Mhm.
difficult.
Yeah.
But when I was there already, I was like, I wasn't happy, but I've always loved that job. So at some point, I
Mhm.
was like, what's happening? But then I
Mhm.
realized also, because there was a misalignment. Because at the top of my core value is family, love,
Mhm.
and service. And
Yeah.
because of the work commitments, I'm not giving my kids the time that they
Time.
wanted
Yeah.
from me,
Wanted from. Yeah.
and I cannot even have the time to even serve others. I mean, I was
Mhm.
stuck house and then work. So
Yeah.
I think that's very important, knowing your values also
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
feeling the fears and
Yes.
doing things anyway.
Anyways.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people might be interested to get in touch with you. I mean, you look very young, very fresh. I know we have so much to learn from you. If you can just invite them to whatever programs you have.
Yeah.
So
So
please, please.
as definitely as a health coach, I do conduct one-on-one coaching with my sessions. And apart from that, for corporates, I conduct webinars, especially a lot of webinars in the pandemic as we are. I'm happy to connect with any corporate or in person, for an initial 30-minute session with me first. And then, of course, I will introduce to the programs that I have, which are more health related, helping you make a shift in your health and your body and your mindset. It's a very holistic program, which are run from as small as 2 months to all the way as 6 months, depending on where you are in your health. Definitely happy to share. I have a website called livelively@gmail.com, where they can, reach out to me via email or via my number over there. And I'm happy to assist and make healthier and happier lives even more easier for most people.
That's very nice. Healthier and happier. I wished
Mhm.
everybody a healthier and happier January 2021 and for the rest of the years. So
Mhm.
that's really
Mhm.
a good goal. But I think, what, if I may say, the problem with other coaches or health programs, it's either focus
Mhm.
only on diet, and
Mhm.
it's not holistic. But I
Yeah.
think what I love about what you do, you talk about the mindset, and then what's the nutrition, and you also have something about hormonal imbalance, which is
Yeah.
again a lot of women are suffering. So for
Yeah.
you, for anybody who's watching this, or for your family or friends, please get in touch with Shital. The good news about this is you don't just have to be in Dubai, right? With the digital environment and space where we are now, you can work anywhere with any people. They just need to get in touch with you. I will leave on this recording your link to your website, so they
Yeah.
can get in touch with you directly. Thank you so much, Shital, for your time. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure being here today, and it's such an honor to be on this platform as well. A heart full of gratitude for you and for everybody watching.
Thank you, Shital. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.